Now, since I'm on Senator Graham's doorstep, I have an announcement to make today that I thought long and hard about saying to anybody. But consider the fact that Senator Graham is the #1 Republican in the country trying to pass amnesty for illegal immigrants. And considering the fact he presented in a group I do consider to be racist called the National Council of La Raza, the National Council of the Race. Have you heard of them? Senator Graham spoke to them. He got an award from them, and he said that America is more of an idea than a place. Thank goodness my granddaddy who fought in the Ardennes Force is in the ground and didn't hear that America is more of an idea than a place. He said that nobody owns this. Nobody owns being an American is what he told this racist pro-amnesty group. Sometimes I wonder what it would take to make a person sell their own country out like that. And there's one thing that it could be that I'm going to put out in the open here today. It's a secret that Lindsey Graham has. It's no secret in Washington, D.C. The Democrats know this secret. Obama, Jen, and Napolitano know this secret. The business industries in Washington that won't open borders and amnesty know this secret. The general public doesn't know this secret. I hope this secret isn't being used as leverage over Senator Graham. So today, I'm saying, Senator Graham, you need to come forward and tell people about your alternative lifestyle and your homosexuality. Come out of that closet, Lindsey. Come out of that log-cabin closet. Barney Frank is more honest and brave than you. Because at least we know about Barney Frank. You know what he's going to hold it over his head.
William Gheen is the leader of Americans for Legal Immigration, PAC or ALIPAC, which is one of the largest grassroots organizations in America, fighting for more immigration enforcement, border security, against illegal immigration and amnesty. And we appreciate him joining us. He appears regularly on Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, and publications like USA Today, New York Times, LA Times. And he remains steadfast in his resolve to end illegal immigration in the United States. WilliamGheen.com, GHEEN.com, alipac.us. The problem is the globalists want to end illegal immigration by making all the illegals completely legal. And I want to go over the state of the fight to secure the republic and save the republic from the 30 million illegal aliens that are being used by Washington special interest and globalists to bankrupt this nation as a political weapon to vote for gun control and you name it. And this is a life and death situation. Illegal aliens last week and over the weekend rioted in Arizona. It was on the local news, covered up by the national news media. Mexico lost 2 wars with the U.S. They teach the kids down there to hate the U.S. Hispanics who are in America and are citizens are literally the salt of the earth. From my experience, these are the best people to be Americans. But that's 2 different groups. And it's time we tell the truth and come out against this and expose La Raza and Mecha and Aslan and all the things that are happening. And William Gheen, thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thanks, Alex. I just want to state, one of the things that I mentioned in my speech that a lot of people that reacted negatively to what I had to say about Senator Graham, I've tried to make it as clear as possible that I had no intention to offend people who are homosexual. I did not try to pass judgment. Although I'm a Christian, I did not try to pass judgment on Senator Graham's homosexuality. My concern has been that in my political experience with over 44 campaigns I've consulted and worked with before founding ALIPAC 5 years ago.
Blackmail.
With blackmail. They don't like a clean person coming up to Washington, D.C. And it doesn't even have to be dirt. We think of dirt as something like a bad gambling habit out of control or a very bad drug habit or marital infidelity. All it has to be, Alex, is something that a person really doesn't want to get out there that could bring them down politically. And once they know that, and the general public doesn't, they have the power to get it out. Those people that you heard cheering, they weren't cheering because I punched Lindsey Graham politically. They were cheering because those people know about Lindsey and the rest of the world doesn't, and they were so happy that someone actually said something that has the power to get the message out.
Absolutely. Go back over your speech. It's since gone viral. We have it posted up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. People can just Google Lindsey Graham homosexual clip goes viral. they can pull that up and watch the full speech for themselves. But before we go there, as much specifics as you can, because, I mean, he is a single man. That's not a crime. He is somewhat secretive about his lifestyle. It's come out over and over again that Democratic and Republican leadership aren't just gay, but they're constantly, chasing the pages down the halls, or they're in bathrooms at airports soliciting sex. And we've seen this throughout history. I mean, look at the Catholic Church, where once these people get in on the pedophile subject, they only recruit other pedophiles in, and they then protect themselves. They then blackmail the church or the government or other institutions that you better do what we say or this whole scandal is going to come out. So this is about blackmail. Please continue.
Well, again, I am all about a person's privacy. A lot of people out there are like, oh, well, if I had something like that going on, I wouldn't want it out there. I'm not concerned. Well, no, I was concerned about Senator Graham's privacy. But his privacy is secondary to the proper functioning of our republic and American lives. If what I did the other day, even for those that disagree with me, if it ends up in saving one American life of the thousands of Americans that are being slaughtered needlessly every year because our borders remain forced open, then I'll take any heat that I have to take. And the thing about it is, I talk to people in South Carolina and Washington, D.C. that aren't just gossips and rumor mill people. They're movers and shakers, Democrats and Republicans, people that are near the inner circles of power in both the state and the federal government, and they know. It's like one of Washington's worst-kept secrets. And my past experience when I used to work for the Democrats when I was a younger and more liberal man, youth, I worked for gay politicians. I discovered things about how these politicians interact with each other. They would compete in business and politics, much like what you described, but they would never go too far with each other, Alex, because they had the equivalent of a political nuclear weapon on each other, mutually assured destruction. They would compete in politics and business, but never go too far, and collaborate quite often because they each had the ability to destroy each other. And if you did not share their perceived liability of homosexuality or whatever it was. And some of these people were married with children for the whole postcard routine, okay? These people, one of the things about it is not all homosexuals, but some of the homosexuals in politics are very much into creating vast and elaborate illusions that can be detrimental when applied to government to their lives. And I picked that up all over Lindsey Graham, and I was like, I am 99.5% certain of Graham. I need to take it off the table. And the only way I can take it off the table is to bust it out on that speech. And, I get up there, Alex, and I on these stages in front of thousands of people, and I beg the federal government to take some action to stop the billions of dollars in tax resources being stolen from us by illegal aliens, to clean up the political corruption, to secure our borders, the thousands of Americans being murdered by illegal aliens that have been in and out of our local jails, and nobody listens, and nobody says anything. But I mention that one of the most powerful men in the world is a homosexual and doesn't want it to get out, and he might be influenceable because of that. And all of a sudden, it's on 9,000 websites, and I'm being attacked by Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert on Comedy Central.
Well, it's not going to work. I mean, Americans know that this blackmail system, whether it's money laundering, drug dealing, bribes, sexual escapades, constant administrations. I mean, look at Bush, who was for open borders and the rest of it, with the gay madam and the press corps and the hundreds of midnight visits by Jeff Gannon and his male prostitutes, Bohemian Grove being in the mainstream news, top gay porn star Chad Savage and others, quote, servicing the moguls. This is almost a rite of passage from my research to get in to the club, and this is why they're so corrupt and so easily controlled, is because a large percentage, and you worked in Congress, I mean, if you had to dead reckon it, sir, what percentage up there are doing things sexually, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual, that could destroy them?
Well, it's really hard to say because, organized crime is the same way. They look for a person that has a vice with any illegal behavior, illegal income, illicit drug use, marital affairs, homosexuality, anything like that that they can use. Usually involves a supply or facilitator mode. And there seems to be this blend between both the tactics and actual financial systems of organized crime. and our own government. Right now, I have U.S. Chamber of Commerce groups and representing Miller Brewing and Bank of America that seem to be working hand in hand with drug cartels that are importing all these people. And so the fusion, and we see that from Point South, from Mexico Point South. In a lot of cases, the organized crime syndicates control most of, if not all of, some of these governments because they are multi-billion-dollar, heavily armed with their own private army type.
And that's why Mexico is merging so nicely with the whorehouse that is Washington, because it's a corrupt state. And the mainstream media will out a congressman if they haven't been playing ball, but they won't if they are playing ball. That's why the internet is equalizing that now, because we can just out them all.